it was a battle, and you had to win those battles. You had to keep the ball alive. You had to, when the ball went in the box, battle scrap. And that goal, I think, was a case of it. We kept it alive. The manager wasn't happy, felt they should have cleared it. I think any defensive manager would say that. But we kept it alive. And then Patrick, it was probably the one moment of real quality in the whole game. To be honest, that finish on his left foot, his sort of weaker side, right into the corner. And I think it was a big goal at that moment. Obviously, they'd got the penalty before that, missed it, which I think really gave us the lift. I think the start of the game, we were really struggling to get any kind of foothold. It was a bit of a constant pressure from them. They got the penalty. We'll come on to that, and the referee, and well, all officials, to be honest. But we got our one. I think it was probably our first real attack, to be honest, and to go 1-0 up. I think that was a real big momentum shift in the game, and it allowed us to do what our strength probably is. And I think their manager alluded to that in his press conference. We could sit back in a shape. We could defend the middle of the box well. Tom Davis, I want to give a special mention to him today. I thought that was one of the best centre-half performances I've seen. If you look at McNulty, Clark, I think back to that Ian Goodison game against Bolton when Goodison was just blocking everything, and Tom Davis was like that today. You know what Jamil's match is like. You know it's going to be awkward. There's going to be a battle, and probably the winner of that battle was who was going to come out on top today, and Tom certainly did today. Fantastic performance from him.
A whole unit defensively were brilliant, but I absolutely wholeheartedly agree that Tom Davis stood head and shoulders above the Walsall attackers for starters, but also he was above his Tranmere teammates for the commitment and the level of performance that he put in. It was a real leader's performance, which I think at times people on this podcast have criticised him for maybe not leading by example.
Yeah, and again, I think that's been overly critical of him, to be honest. I mean, you see Tom, like the passion he has for the performance. I mean, his dad sits by us in the stand and is there home and away, and he's like his son on the pitch. The passion he has in the stands. So it's great to see people like that at the football club, and obviously Tom is a leader at the football club, and. Yeah, you can criticize things at certain times, but I don't think he's a player you will ever question the commitment of, the willingness to be aggressive when the ball's in the box, to defend the middle of the box. Yeah, if he's got a quick, pacey player against him, he's probably not going to win that battle. But I tell you what, you have a team throwing balls in the box against you. He is a player that you would want on your side, and I thought he was excellent. I thought Brad Walker, again, was outstanding, his reading of the game. And Jordan Turnbull, obviously, first proper game back, out of position. Thought he did very, very well as well. So, yeah, very, very, very strong at the back.
You mentioned Brad Walker there. There was a moment in the second half where I think he came up against Albert Adoma. Might have been someone else. I might be getting this mixed up, but he went into the tackle, won the ball, and then just chipped the ball over the Walsall player and carried on running down the line. And I thought that was an absolutely brilliant bit of football. And the other person who, I know he wasn't part of the back four, but he's very much part of the defensive unit, is Leo Connor, who put in a couple of absolutely magnificent challenges. And now he's been restored to that central midfield role, more by need than anything else, because I'm not entirely sure he'd be playing if Tranmere had a fully fit 11, given that his place in the squad at right back has been taken by Norman, and you presume that Hendry, Finlay and Walker are all ahead of him in terms of being a central midfielder. But he was brilliant, and there was a huge tackle in the second half that he absolutely had to get spot on, and he did, and it caused the end of a Walsall attack and allowed Tranmere to regain a little bit of momentum and control of the ball. So many positives out there from a defensive point of view, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I mean, Nigel's favourite thing is team, isn't it? Together, everyone achieves more. But I think as a defensive unit, we defend as 11 players, and the front two I would include in that with the pressing and tracking back. The one from O'Connor, I remember it, they were breaking through the middle of the pitch, and you thought, they were breaking forward with a lot of bodies, and he comes out of nowhere to get that tackle in. We've seen that so many times from him. And again, I just felt it's a type of game that a Leo O'Connor will relish in. A battle, and you know he will turn up. Yes, we would like to see better on the ball play as a team again, but I think defensively 1 to 11, exceptional performance. And obviously we've got to speak about Luke McGee. How many times last season he made key saves at points in matches that then allowed us to go and what we did today. Instead of going 1-0 down, we then went and got a goal and went 1 goal up. And he's proven his worth again. I imagine probably knew a little bit about Jamil Matt from the Forest Green time, maybe on that penalty. But what a save. Like when you see that back, it wasn't a terrible penalty by any means. But again, a massive, massive save. And I think he dealt well with a lot of the balls in as well. They were putting a lot of good deliveries into the box at times from set pieces, and he was coming and getting a punch on it and just relieving a bit of pressure as well. So, yeah, again, we could speak about this defensive performance all day. Very, very encouraging.